Megan.
Hi. How is everybody?
Good.
Awesome.
Good.
Apparently the host has disabled screen sharing.
Okay, what just happened?
The host has disabled screen sharing.
Oh, well, who is actually the host here? Who logged in? Because I'm not.
I'm not.
Okay, I don't know. That's really weird. So, okay, who cares? All right, what do we got? I need a win, something positive. Someone share something cool.
Well, we had 44 showings on a new listing in the last 2 days.
Oh my gosh.
And we went and presented 12 offers last night.
Where was it located?
Oconomowoc on Lisbon Road.
And what was the price point?
$325.
Wow.
And we got it sold with, can I share the price here?
No.
Okay. For quite a bit more.
Yeah.
No inspection, no appraisal.
Wow.
So Tom, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Diana.
Sorry. So Tom, can you share some insights? I've been getting like multiple offers on our listing. Insights of anything creative that stuck out like in a bidding war that can help with other bidding wars?
Well, that's why if I could do a shared screen, I'll show you the spreadsheet that we use.
Yeah. Just let me see here. Do you have the screen sharing at the bottom?
Well, when I click on it, it says the host has disabled participant screen sharing. So whoever's the host has to click on allow attendees to share screen.
I'm going to log out for a second and log back in as the host. So you guys just stay here, okay?
Yep.
And I can give you screen sharing and just keep talking about it.
Yep. And then Alex, do you go by Alexander or Alex?
Alex, that's fine. Alexander's my business name.
Yeah, and Thomas is my business name. I go by Tom. I'll share the Kilroy was here photo with you.
I actually looked it up and saw it.
So you see what I was talking about?
Oh.
But they drew that all over Europe. You know, all the GIs were drawn on pretty much any place they could find a flat spot.
Okay, now I'm back. So hang tight. All right, so screen sharing. I need to give you ability to share your screen.
Yeah, or all participants. It's a security feature they block so people can't show porn, I guess, or whatever.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, let's have a PTA meeting. Hey, what's that picture?
Okay, look at your share now. Does it say anything?
There we go.
Okay, you do it.
So can you guys all see the spreadsheet over here?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a spreadsheet that we use when we get offers. And this one just got expanded way, way out based on having 13 offers. So each of these columns is one separate offer. And we look at all of these things as far as the details in the offer.
Yep.
And I will make that a little bit bigger so you can actually see it. Seeing the whole screen is a little bit tough when it's bigger, but price, earnest money, included items, is there an escalation clause, financing details, all the inspections and testing, anything else financing wise, and then notes at the bottom. And then our review process went through and we discounted ones right off the bat that the price wasn't high enough. So I think of the 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them dropped out right away because the price wasn't high enough. But then it got interesting.
Yeah.
Because we had escalation clauses up to 350, up to 355.
Mm-hmm.
And our highest base offer was 345. And getting back to Diana's question about how did we choose on this, when we did the CMA, we came up with a 325 list price that we actually thought was a little strong compared to the sold comps. And from that point, if we trended into the 350, 355 range, we were worried about appraisal. So the accelerated to 355 did have an appraisal, and the 355 had an appraisal as well. So we thought, well, if we take a 355 and it appraises at 335, this gentleman who had written the offer only had 3% down, and they would not be able to make up the shortfall, so we'd have to drop the price or lose the offer. The same was true with this one at 350. He had 10% down, which was better, but still had an appraisal. So the 346 had an appraisal, but it was not a contingency. And they came in with almost 15% down. So if there was an appraisal shortfall, they could make up the difference.
Mm.
Plus, they didn't have an inspection on the prop. They weren't going to do an inspection. So higher down payment, better price, no appraisal, no inspection, they won. So it wasn't the highest price, but it was the secondary considerations that allowed, you know, they kind of gave us a better package, because the only thing we have to worry about, and it's not a big worry, is sewer, septic and water test and well test when they were done.
Okay. That's a good point. Yeah.
And the letter, the cute little letter of, you know, the husband and wife and the baby sealed the deal. But that's not where we started. So this analysis technique I've been using for a long time, and I think this is probably the most offers we've ever had on one property. But we go through these if we have 2 or 3 and just kind of, you know, line everything up, and it gives a very clear picture of what's your best option as it relates to your deal. And it wasn't, you know, their price was not the highest by almost 9,000. But we started worrying about, you know, somebody throws a big price at it, we have to sell the house twice, we have to sell it to the bank. And with the people that we accepted, we did not have to sell it to the bank.
So this makes me think of the flip side, Dianna, when you're working with a buyer, and let's just pretend you've got a listing agent on the other end that isn't as detailed and professional as Tom is, and you know that you're writing a strong offer that maybe has a more than a 5% down, maybe, you know, you're a buyer's agent, you pulled the CMA, you know that you're writing potentially 25,000 over what may not be supportive in an appraisal. Like, imagine the flip side of how Tom analyzed it. You provided your reasoning to the listing agent with your buyer as to why you offered what you did. You give them exactly what Tom explained. There's that flip side. Does that make sense? Because I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, not every listing agent would do what you just did, Tom.
I don't know. I've never watched anybody else present multiples. But again, you know, it was Nolan filling this out for 4 hours through all the offers.
Yeah.
And then we put all of the offers, each of them was in a separate file in a Google Drive, so that if we had to pull something up. And I did this whole thing on Zoom. So the ex-husband's in Texas, and then the wife was in Oconomowoc, and I was here in Cedarburg. Took about an hour to go through.
There's a lot of stories there. So like anytime I hear you guys give stories, I always think, okay, I'm going to look through the perspective of the seller, of the agent, of the buyer, of the agent, of the, oh, by the way, I go on a listing appointment and I'm in competition. I pull out that spreadsheet. I take out the address. I said, let me tell you why you want to work with me, because I'm going to show you an example. If you don't have a professional on the other end, you may be picking the wrong offer because it's not always based on price. So imagine, Tom, the conversation you just had with us in less than 5 minutes. You presented it to a seller when you're in competition that wants to go with a 3% broker who works part-time. Not in today's market.
No. Well, and for this, it's a sure deal. So yeah, it wasn't the highest price, which is the normal default, because the highest price could evaporate. I mean, not every issue comes up with appraisals, but when based on our CMA, the 355 was, I don't think we would have gotten it.
So Dianna, does that help, or do you have other questions based on it?
So I do the same thing that Tom does with the spreadsheet because I do think it tells a story and it's a better presentation to help the seller analyze what's the best offer for them. And so I've been taking those, like the spreadsheet, to help me present to win with buyers right now. Like what's been winning, what's the best strategy? Because just yesterday, Wednesday, I wrote 2 offers. And as I'm writing the offers, another offer is coming in. And so I'm like, so I presented to my buyers, okay, we have to reposition your offer if you really want this house to beat the other offer. Now I won on both of them.
Good.
But we had to strategize because one of them, like I saw on Tom's spreadsheet, it looked like only one of them was the FHA and the rest were conventional. Am I correct?
There was one FHA and there was one VA.
Okay, so I was dealing with the FHA buyer. So there was one thing on the house that I could see that the appraiser would have flagged. So I asked the buyers, are you willing to address that issue? It was really minor, something easy fix. And he was handy. He's like, absolutely. So we wrote that in the offer to make our offer stronger, that he would fix it prior to the appraisal, you know, and we won. Now, because most of the time when I'm getting offers from my sellers, and there are multiples, I'm hardly getting any FHAs. So, and I've been losing with that buyer because I think FHA, some agents I go to conventional because I don't want to deal with FHA. So I try to position them in a better advantage on the offer, and we won. So I was really happy to see that because on that particular house, we didn't go too high. And then I just put in some benefits for the sellers, and we won. On the second one yesterday, oh, go ahead.
But see, Dianna, the point that you're making is being a professional and really understanding and identifying what are any objections that could happen from the seller. So that was beautiful and perfect going, we're writing FHA. I know that you're going to need a railing here, or you're going to need to paint whatever. So it tells me that our agents who are working with buyers who have FHA, they need to understand the idiosyncrasies of what the difference of working with FHA. It can work. You took care of the objection up front. That is being a professional. That's awesome.
Yeah, and a way that I've seen FHA go well is if you put something in the offer as a contingency that says the buyer will cover up to $5,000 worth of repairs related to an FHA. And you identify those things when you're in the house and say, look, you're on the hook for this. If you got to scrape paint, do this. And you got to do that before closing. So you have to be willing to spend that money before you buy the house. And if they're willing to do that, then the FHA issue goes away, because most of the time, unless it's a roof or a basement issue, which you would see when you write the offer anyway, most FHA stuff is related to paint or broken windows and stuff like that.
But the point is being diligent as an agent. If you know you've got this FHA buyer, you've got it. You're looking at the houses differently to be able to win an offer.
Yes,
absolutely. Because I'm going to be honest, I've talked with some agents recently, and I just listen to them say, I automatically guide my sellers away from FHA if I have conventional loans. So I knew that was going to be a battle for this client of mine, because they had a great lender. They had an awesome lender that was in their court there, but their FHA and only putting the minimum 3.5% down. So I knew I had to position them where they would be strong against other offers, and they won, which I was grateful for. I feel like it is hard to, like yesterday I had a buyer, which I thought was a slam dunk. We had the offer, no other offers were coming in. Well, they let a showing go in before agreeing to our offer, and that showing was writing as well. So we were in, okay, give us a moment, we're gonna counter our offer, and the buyers did. They came in strong because they didn't want to lose the house. And you know, if you don't want to lose it, I say just give your best foot forward. So we countered it, and we ended up winning. But they could have lost it if we stayed where we were. You know.
So, are you two willing? I mean, these are really good examples, you guys, on the buyer side, right? Good examples of how you looked at it, Tom, on the listing side with these competing, that it wasn't just the price. Dianna, how you're really you have to believe and be okay that we're going to have buyers that need to do FHA. How do we get an FHA buyer to win? That is our job.
Yeah.
And so are you two willing for next team meeting for you to share these two stories? As a
Sure.
buyers, where our agents are struggling the most right now is the exhaustion, the need. Yes, we know we need listings. We did the listing series in June, but
Yeah.
now we need to teach everybody, how do you win with your buyers?
Yeah, and it's a complex task because you have to be able to elicit what the seller's needs are from the listing agent. And a lot of times listing agents don't want to talk to you because they don't want to tip their hand, quote unquote. And that's just a weak agent that won't go through what the seller needs. But I mean, in a tight market, I mean, this one guy wrote an FHA and he put in there that my seller could live in the house free up until middle of September, which she wanted, and he wasn't going to charge her any rent. However, with an FHA, he didn't do a home inspection, which is not a big deal, but he also didn't do water testing, well inspection, or septic. You can't do that with an FHA. They'll kill you. They want that before they do the loan. So he's like, no on these inspections. And I'm like, you're never going to get your loan approved. And this is a big agent over in Lake Country with First Weber, quote unquote. And I was just surprised when he sent that in. I'm like, did you forget this? Or did you not know there was a septic or a well here? Because if you do an FHA or VA, they want those tests.
Well, that's a good point. So it's really
Right.
knowing the financing situation of your buyer. And you can't just write to write, right? And I have a feeling that a lot of agents, whether they're experienced or new, are like, all right, we're going to give away the farm and we're going to not do this, we're going to not do this. And they think that that's what's going to win. But if you have a really smart listing agent like you, Tom, pointing that out, that it's like smoke and mirrors, basically, when you wrote your offer. It's not real.
No, I mean, just because it's not on paper doesn't mean it's not going to be an issue. Because, all right, so there's no contingency there. However, they do have a financing. And if the financing doesn't go through because there's a bad well test or there's a bad water test or the septic, then we lose them. So it's like, okay, let's go with the one that we know we're not going to lose because we're not going to get tripped up by somebody else rushing their offer. I mean, we had 2 sale of home contingencies in here. And one of them wouldn't even provide us with the address of the other, the buyer's house that was on the market. And Nolan's like, why am I wasting my time? Just put it in the spreadsheet. He goes, they won't even tell us where the house is.
We're required.
Oh.
That's funny. I will share with this too, you guys. Recently, one of our listings, the appraiser called me, and it sounded like it wasn't going to appraise out. So he's like, can you share your comps? And I did. But I took it one step further. There was an accepted offer on a house in that same community, identical match to my listing. And so I called the listing agent and said, can you tell me when it's closing? She's like, yes, it's closing. It was closing 2 days after. And I said, can you tell me if it is closing above list price? She goes, I can tell you that. I said, great. So I went back to the appraiser. I said, here's your identical comp. It's closing in 2 days. Can you wait for those 2 days? He said, yes, I can. So I corresponded with her and I said, can you make sure it goes in MLS right away after it closes? She texted me right away. It's done, that it's in MLS, it's closed. Good luck. I wish you the best. And it comped out, praised out just fine. The appraiser works with me. He says, that is your comp and I need that to close. And I said, absolutely. So it worked. He worked with me very well. So just be patient, hear out the appraiser if he calls you or he or she. Listen to what they have to say and then provide them with data to support your comps.
Yeah. Well, as what Kim had said, it's all about being a professional, actually doing the work, and knowing what you're doing. And, with a discount broker, somebody who works part-time or something, and I apologize if there's any part-timers on here, this took 5 hours to put all this together. And you think a discount broker that, is working at Walmart or something is going to do this? No, they're just going to throw a whole bunch of papers at the seller and say, okay, this one's the highest price, take it. And then, 40 days from now, the appraisal comes back and they lose 20 grand.
And can I change your term to discount service? So it's just something we're trying to be more aware of, because just because you discount commission doesn't mean you discount service. So thank you. So let's
Yep.
work really hard at using the term discount service or limited service. I actually like limited service better.
How about no service?
Yeah, no service. We know who those are, the no service, right?
Yeah.
So
No shoes, no
I have a
service.
question.
I
I have a
can't
question.
even, yes, please, go ahead, Alex.
So I know you can in command put in all the offers one by one. I haven't done it yet, but is there a way, I don't know if maybe Katie knows, but is there a way to print that out in a spreadsheet similar to what you have, or
I don't know.
Yes, Alex, from my understanding, there is. I would love for somebody to do it, try it. That is the whole point of command and
Mhm.
putting that all in there so that you didn't have to have a separate spreadsheet. I don't know if it's more cumbersome. I don't know. Eventually the whole point is the big picture with command is artificial intelligence,
Mhm.
meaning Kelly. Kelly is the artificial intelligence. That's the name of the AI.
Yeah.
You scan your offers and AI reads all that stuff that you just said, Tom, and automatically puts it in there. That's the big picture. Now, will it read something, what I mean? Obviously,
Who
it's not
knows?
perfect. That,
Even if we were able to type this in and have a decision tree, work through it, that would be helpful, because it would be another point of, okay, sitting down and going through this and doing it manually. Entering the data took about 3-4 hours, and then analyzing it and going through it was an hour before we made the call.
yeah,
So we could do this, and then I could roll it out and present piece by piece by piece.
yeah.
So it makes sense to them, because you pop this up on a screen to a homeowner and they're looking, going, what is all that? And I go, this is all the details and all the offers without all the text.
Yeah. So
So-
Alex, when you're on your tech tribe hours or whatever, that might be worthy of your time to kind of look into. It would be very helpful to find out.
Yeah,
where
if anybody
that's-
wants access to our command and a copy of the spreadsheet to test it out, I'm more than happy to supply it.
Yeah.
yes, please.
Yeah. Send me a copy, Tom. I'll distribute it.
Okay.
So
Very good.
I cannot even tell you right now. Thank you for ending my week on this note. I am so proud to be in business with you guys. You have no idea. I almost have tears in my
Likewise.
eyes. Like, this
Oh,
makes me
God.
so proud that we are having this high level professional conversation this morning. And we went off task. It's already 9:25.
9:25, yeah.
But I'm going to tell you this right now. The people that are not on this call have no idea what they're missing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's okay, as I say, we're going to trash the agenda, right? The whole point of this call is really to, share wins, inspire, role play what we're going to say. But Tom and Dianna, thank you. Can't even tell you. So I don't know if we can replicate this conversation at a team meeting. I'm tempted to, because this is recorded. I may send this out to everybody with your permission, if that's okay. Tom, send me your
Fine, yeah.
Google sheet.
Nope.
Yeah, sounds good.
No,
I mean-
I shaved this morning and did my hair, so I'm fine.
Yeah, so this is invaluable. And I think that this is a topic that we've somewhat touched on in the team meeting, but what we're finding in the team meeting, and not just the team meeting, because I participate in a lot of group Zooms,
Mm-hmm.
is what we're finding is that, I love the stage. I think you guys all know that. That's what fills my heart, like running this and doing these new Facebook Lives that I'm doing. That's what feeds my soul, right? Mm-hmm. That doesn't feed everybody's, right? And it's very nerve-wracking to be on these Zooms. A lot of people don't pipe up and talk. And I even notice it on my team leader. You guys, I'm on a team leader call with the regional, and these are team leaders. It's the same freaking 5 people that talk all the time. They're team leaders, right? I have to literally bite my tongue to not actually talk, but I know what it feels like to be the leader of the training or the Zoom and hear crickets. I also recognize not everybody wants to be on stage. So this is the downfall of Zoom, because when you talk, you're immediately on stage. That is the reason for the breakouts. In fact, I'm sending some recommendations to KW. They're doing a bunch of trainings and whatever, and we're losing that networking piece, that connection piece. That's why we want to do the Zoom rooms. So I think that, and I just want to get your feedback on this subject, is I may, with the next team meeting, specifically do a Zoom room on this subject, so you
Yeah.
can share privately. In the way that a mastermind works in a large group, and Tom or anybody who's ever gone to mega camp or family reunion knows, that's how it works. You're in a room with 100 people, you're at a table of 10, and at your table of 10, you talk to each other about a subject, you mastermind on it, you pick a spokesperson, then the spokesperson is the one that is comfortable who comes and shares the ahas. So that's what I'm picturing wanting to do with the team meeting on this particular subject, where we're like, okay, we're going to break you out, mastermind on this subject for 15, 20 minutes. What's working? How are you winning offers? And then have your spokesperson come back and share.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's difficult writing offers. And, you know, if you go into it same old, you're not going to get anything accepted.
No.
So, you know, but as I was telling my team this morning when we went through this, skipping a home inspection is risky unless you know what you're looking at as a buyer's agent when you go through a house. Is we showed one in West Bend yesterday that had 2 offers by the time we got there. I asked the listing agent, hey, can you wait? Nope, we're not waiting. We're just presenting. I'm like, all right, but we got there. The house was a disaster area. I mean, whoever built this, they built it in the 50s. There was no code done, and the floor joists were 2x6.
Here's the other thing, Tom. Choosing as a listing agent to allow the buyer not to have an inspection, you are also at risk.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the flip side. The flip side is it's not about what we don't include in the offer just because we think we're going to win. Like, the number one area that real estate agents get their butt sued is around the condition of the home.
Yeah. And this
I'm a
house
buyer's agent. I see that it's a disaster. My buyer chooses. Of course, I'm going to have them sign a waiver. I am going to fight tooth and nail to say, you got to have this inspection. You got to have it. I might even put it in writing so I have it, because I'm not getting my butt sued if all of a sudden the buyer moves into the home and they're like, well, shit, the basement leaked and whatever. And yes, it was their option not to have an inspection, but I don't really care. An attorney will sue for anything.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
And this house is in really, really good condition. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I mean, I go through my listings very closely, and this house is in good shape. And we identified 1 or 2 minor things that might need to be done. But if we do a no home inspection, I have to look at the property very closely. But then I pay for a warranty because I can't test the furnace or the water heater or the appliances. So if there is an issue, then the warranty would kick in and would cover replacement for a year.
Yeah. Anyway.
Good.
Thank you.
You had a good Friday.
So for those that have not spoke up, Kearney, Lindy, Katie, was this valuable?
Mm-hmm. Totally. Just being able to listen to all this has been very helpful. Same with the script practice too. And like the breakouts yesterday, Dianna and I did one, and it was really helpful following up on Facebook leads. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys sharing, just because I'm not in that space, but understanding that is helpful, so that when I'm having conversations with friends and stuff like that, I feel like I can use bits and pieces of this to have an educated conversation to then pass them over to our team of experts, essentially. So
Kearney.
Yes, this was very, very useful and very interesting. And I'll probably have to re-watch it with the recording. I was dealing with a dog that was being sick. So
those dogs, I swear to God. In fact, in our breakout, well, I might have a surprise. I'll leave it for team meeting. I have a really hard time keeping surprises or visions or ideas I have, but I'm going to save it. So what I really need your help with, you guys, here is the more people I can have on the team meeting that's on Zoom, the better. Between you and I may not this next Tuesday push it to Facebook Live right away. So I need people on the Zoom for us to have a productive, supportive breakout, whatever. And I'm not going to do that every time because some people like to watch it live and whatever, but the more we can have on the Zoom, the better off, the more productive we can be, if that makes sense. So.
Yeah, and Kim, to add to that, like I was not, oh, sorry, my son right there. I will definitely be on Zoom if you guys do breakouts for the team meeting, because when you guys did that, I was like, oh, I wish I was on Zoom. I was just doing it by my phone on Facebook. So I think if that's definitely going to be a part of our team meeting, I will definitely be on Zoom.
Thank you. I appreciate that support. And we're living and learning here in this new environment. So
Yeah. Zoom's pretty comfortable on your phone.
Yeah.
So you can set Zoom up and get a little stand and a little light thing, and it's a very nice platform to be able to use.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, I'm still staying here and calling. I will be calling until 10:30. Who's staying here and calling?
I'm muting myself and getting coffee, and then I'll be on for an hour.
Okay. Okay. So I challenge you, stay here. This is your tribe. Make a call. I'm not gonna, I gotta go find a quote. We gotta leave with a quote. Where's my quote book? Well, here's what we'll do. Okay, this is so fun. You guys ready? I love Fridays. Thank you. Maybe this will be the new format on Friday. Like we just kind of, instead of role play, we do this. But anyway, I can do whatever I do because I run it on Friday, right?
I will say I do like that. I miss the end of the day one where like people were like sharing things that they were running into or like whatever. So yeah, I think that's been really helpful.
Well, help me create some FOMO and get those people to show up here on Friday. So, all right. So I got this gift from my daughter years ago. My mother refers to me as a Pollyanna, which I think is a negative term, but whatever. Because I'm all about positivity and affirmations and quotes. So I got this birthday gift for my now 18-year-old at one time, and it said, "Happy birthday. I hope you had a great birthday. You are the best mom I could ever have. I love you." And inside are quotes that she wrote. So I'm just going to pull one and read it today. We'll see what we get. So they're ones that she found online. So
That's
pretty
awesome.
cute.
Yeah.
So as much as they say they hate it, they love it. So, all right, here we go. The only reason for time is so that everything doesn't happen at once. Well, that's kind of cute. I need one more. See, I get inspired. All right, and then our last one here, and then we're going to get to work. Nobody has a better vision of who you are than yourself. Ooh, that's good. Good. So, all right, guys. Love you. I really do. And you inspired me. I'm proud to be in business with all of you. And I look forward to where we're going. Whatever you need help with, let me know. You guys are amazing. Let's go and change some lives and find people who could really use a professional to help them out. Okay? Go do it. Have a great weekend.
Have a good morning.
Thanks.